What's up, Phenomenal Phanatics? You're back here with Just Phenomenal. I'm Jay.
I'm JP.
And today we're going to be talking about the Major League Baseball restart. The PGA Championship, which is this week, starts this Thursday. And we're also going to recap the NBA games from last week. So let's go ahead and get started with baseball.
On second thought, let's get started with hockey.
Next.
Alright, back to baseball. How about the Astros?
Astros. Really?
Yep.
Astros?
Struggling a little early, man. I mean, they are number one in the division, the AL West. But I mean, they're not starting off as strong as they usually are. I mean, they only got one dude that I could see is batting over 300. The rest not really doing too good. Jose Altuve, who's usually their best base runner and their best dude when he gets on base, really isn't getting on base because he's batting 158, and that's pretty bad. He's actually the worst on his team.
Well, I hope they continue to struggle. They robbed the Dodgers of a World Series. Bunch of cheaters, man.
I mean, I guess you can't hit what you don't know.
And they're not.
They're not
they're not because they don't know what's coming.
Because I mean, when your best hitter and was supposed to be one of your top 4 hitters are your 2 worst hitters right now, I mean, it's pretty bad. I mean, you got Springer, who's batting 182, and you also got Alex Bregman, who's batting 211. That's not good.
Speaking of Bregman, did you see the Dodgers game when Joe Kelly hit him?
Oh man.
What?
Everyone's gonna be hitting him.
Oh yeah.
Everyone's gonna be hitting him.
For sure. That's a no-brainer.
I think
That's a
Joe
no-brainer.
Kelly, it was pretty cool what he was doing, but I think maybe they could have fined Carlos Correa because he could have really put in jeopardy the fact of the coronavirus getting spread because he's trying to come out of it.
I can't believe that they suspended Joe Kelly for what was it?
8 games.
8 games, but yet nothing happened to the Astros. They didn't get suspended for any games.
No repercussions at all. Yep.
I mean, I don't know. I thought that was kind of weird, kind of unfair, maybe a little bit. Anyways, let's go ahead and move on to the Yankees. The Yankees are actually playing really good right now.
Hot start. I mean, of course, they do got their best hitter, Aaron Judge, healthy, which is very rare.
It's crazy. They got Aaron Judge. They got Giancarlo Stanton. They got what's his name? Jerry Sanchez. They're pretty much stacked, and they're pretty jacked too. Have you seen them?
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
I mean, they're all healthy.
They're all built.
They're all healthy, which is amazing. I think Aaron Judge is really making the difference hitting wise. Because, I mean, dude, he swings he swings yard. He hits nukes.
I saw a stat the other day that Aaron Judge had homered in his last 6 games or his last 5 games, something like that.
5 of his last 6.
Yeah, 5 of his last 6. I thought that was pretty wow.
I mean, how about Yelich, man?
Yelich.
Man, he's been doing great the past couple years.
The
And
MVP.
he's got some batting issues right now. He's batting 037.
MVP.
Worse than Altuve. That's not good. But, I mean, of course, his one hit, he's 1 for 27. His one hit was a home run.
I'm a pretty big Yelich fan.
I am too.
So,
I mean, anything with the Brewers, I mean, I like it because, he's my dad. How about the coronavirus outbreaks?
Oh yeah, we saw an outbreak in Miami for the Miami Marlins, right? That affected 20 people. There was 20 positive cases, with 18 of those being players, right? Yeah, that's just wow. And Jeter blamed it on a false sense of security, is what he said. He said that the traveling party was getting too comfortable, which I mean I can see that. I mean,
it's bound to happen.
Yeah.
You tend to go back to what you're used to, but I mean with this thing you can't do that.
You can't do that. No, we're not gonna be in the normal life, the normal way of life for a while.
Yeah.
Until this vaccine comes out, and then so they reschedule all those games, and then you have the St. Louis Cardinals, which happened just a few days ago, right, where they got 13 positive cases. 7 of those cases were players, and together, Miami and St. Louis, that caused at least 21 total games to be rescheduled, postponed. Well, not rescheduled, postponed.
But I mean, the reason we're not really talking about the Phillies, even though they had one too, is because they just actually got enough players to play another game. I think they got like 8 or 9 some players back, so they can finally play a game because they're 1-2, and the Marlins are number 1 in the division because they've only played 3 games. They're 2-1, and that's pretty bad. How about your way too early World Series prediction? Who do you got?
Oh man, you already know.
Of course, your favorite team's the Dodgers.
My 2 favorite teams, the Dodgers and the Yankees. What should have been the 2017 World Series, I hope we see it this year. Because if the Astros wouldn't have cheated, if they wouldn't have cheated, they probably wouldn't have made it to the World Series. Let's be honest. They probably wouldn't have made it to the World Series.
I mean, the defense is very good, but that can only take you so far.
Even with cheating, they took the Yankees took them to 7 games.
Yeah, I don't think they had Judge that year. Did they have Judge?
They did.
They did. Okay.
I think that was his first or second year with the team.
Oh, 2017, right?
2017.
We're talking 2017. Yeah, I remember that year.
The Yankees took the Astros to 7 games. So if the Astros wouldn't have cheated, they probably would not have made it to the World Series. We would have seen Dodgers and the Yankees in the World Series.
Well, I actually have the Yankees and the Cubs. Okay. The Cubs are sitting on the top of the NL Central right now, 8-2. But when it comes to it, I think they got a little better defense than the Dodgers do. Although the Dodgers got big name players, they got Bellinger, they got what's his name? He plays in the outfield. Peterson, I think. Jock Peterson Jr.
Oh yeah.
He plays with them. He's pretty good. Of course, they do got Clayton Kershaw. I mean, who's no slouch. But I think the Cubs kind of get him out there because they got Chris Bryant, and they got some other guys that are notable that are very good.
Well, I'd be happy just to see those teams, the Yankees and the Dodgers in the World Series.
I mean, of course.
That it may not happen. I don't really think it's going to happen.
Dream matchup, man. New York and LA.
Yes. Yep.
It's a very big dream matchup.
Yes.
On to the PGA Championship predictions. What you got?
Well, there's 3 pretty much that I'm looking at right now.
Yeah, I got 3 too.
First off, who I think is going to win, or who I think has the best chance of winning, is Brooks Koepka. Just because last year, first off, Brooks Koepka is the 2-time defending champion. He's won the last 2 years, right?
Yeah.
2018, 2019, he both won, right? So last year, going into last year's PGA Championship, I didn't think he was going to defend at all. I thought he was going to miss a cut, and he ended up winning. I mean, right now he's dealing with a knee injury. I think it's his left knee. It's kind of bothering him a little bit. I don't think it's really going to bother him. He's coming off a 2nd place finish last week at the FedEx St. Jude. The only thing is he needs to putt well. He needs to putt well in order to win. I think he might. I mean, I hope he does. I like his game because he really elevates his game in the majors, and he's a really good mental player, which is something I like to see in a lot of players. The second player that I'm looking at is Bryson DeChambeau. Mm-hmm. Now Bryson DeChambeau is bulked up.
Big.
Yeah, since the season restarted. Since they restarted the season. I think he's put on something like 20 to 25 pounds of muscle. And, man, he's knocking the shit out of the ball.
Hey.
Oh, man, he is. And, I mean, he's always been he's always hit it straight. And usually when players increase their distance, that kind of messes up their accuracy. Not with him. He's still hitting the ball straight. He's hitting it longer now. So that's pretty cool. I would like to see that happen. Particularly, I would like to see Brooks Koepka and Bryson DeChambeau in the final group together.
Tell me a little bit about that, right?
Oh man,
tell me a little bit about it.
They've been going back and forth at each other. They've been drawing back and forth at each other. So I would just like to see that come to, I guess, a climax on Sunday.
What has been said? I don't really know about it.
It's a lot has been said. A lot has been said. Nah, I'm here for it. I love it.
You love it.
I think it's great. There's not enough rivalries in the game of golf right now, and that's one that I'm here for. Oh my gosh, I want to see that so bad. And I think it can happen because, like I said, Brooks Koepka is the two-time defending champion, And Bryson DeChambeau's been playing really well since the season restarted.
Yeah.
He's coming off a win, well, not this past week, but a few weeks ago. July 3rd, he won at the Rocket Mortgage Classic. So I think he might be in there. Another guy that I'm looking at is Justin Thomas. Justin Thomas
He's hot.
is
He's hot,
fresh
man.
off a win this past week at the FedEx St. Jude. He has won 3 times this season, right? And he's also a former PGA Championship winner. He won in 2017, the year before Brooks started winning those 2 in a row. And I think he has enough experience to get there, to get it done this week. He's my dark horse. But really and truly, I want to see Brooks Koepka and Bryson DeChambeau in the final group on Sunday. That would be awesome.
I got 3 different people for me.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to start with my pick. My pick is Webb Simpson. He's got 2 wins this season.
Mm-hmm.
He's got 6 top 10s. And you know the saying, Jordan. You drive for show, you putt for dough. And he's number 1 in the PGA in putting right now. He's averaging 1.6 something putts per green.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a good iron game. I think he's also switched to a more reliable putter. But although he doesn't drive the ball very long, he makes up for it he more than makes up for it with his iron play and his putting.
Webb Simpson, he's a great player. The only thing about Webb Simpson, he's always been real inconsistent for me. He's a former major winner. He won the 2011 U.S. Open. But since then, he really hasn't contended in any of the majors. That would be nice to see for Webb Simpson.
Another one I say who's also who's a dark horse for me, one of my 2 dark horses, is Daniel Berger. He's coming off a strong final round at Southwind.
Straight vibing. That's his Instagram handle. I love that handle.
He shot 65 on the last day and tied for second after battling some adversity. He shot 1 over to start the tournament, but he shot 65 the last round of the St. Jude, which is, he's really on fire right now. I think after that slow start in the beginning, he's kind of caught his wind right now, and he's going.
Yeah, he's been playing pretty good.
My other call me a little biased here, but my other dark horse is Abraham Ansed.
I don't blame you.
The hometown kid from Sherryland High School.
That's
right. He's from the RGV, the Rio Grande Valley, where we're from, the area. He went to a JUCO when he was in after high school. He wasn't high really good either.
He didn't really get looked at, and a lot of players down here, just sports players in general, not just in golf, but high school sports down here, they don't really get looked at.
I'll be honest.
They don't get looked at enough. That needs to change.
We have some talent. I mean, we've seen it. We had Jimmy Lee. We've had Papito Gonzalez. So I think we can really Dustin Garza.
I mean, that's in golf, yeah.
Yeah.
In all sports, we have talent down here. I mean, the kids down here can play.
Yeah, they can.
They're just not really looked at
They're
down
just
here.
not. But the reasons behind this, he's got 2 runners up this season, as well as 2 of the top 10s, and I believe he has a win.
I think he has
I
one.
want to say he's won. If not, I mean, he's still got it.
He's played really well the past 2 seasons. The past 2 seasons, he's played really well. It'd be great to see him get a win.
Great for the area. I mean, hopefully it happens. How about the NBA?
First, let's talk about the standings right now.
Mm-hmm.
So in the East, we've seen a little bit of movement. Milwaukee and Toronto are still 1 and 2, as are Boston and Miami. I believe Miami was 4, right? Boston is 3, Miami is 4. I believe those are still the same.
No, the 76ers are not 4.
Oh, the 76ers were 4, now they're not. Yeah. Because 5 is Indiana and then 6 is Philly.
Yeah.
Which is a surprise to me. I thought Philly was actually going to do a lot better.
Hopefully they go to the 5 seed.
Yeah, hopefully. Anyways, then 7 and 8 we have Orlando and then Brooklyn, which is not really a surprise there. At least not to me. That's what I expected. I didn't think that Washington had any chance at getting that 8 spot, and I don't think that Brooklyn was really going to catch Orlando and like flip flop for 7 and didn't think that was gonna happen.
Well, I mean, LeBron's not in the East, so the East is kind of not good after the first, I think, 5 seeds maybe. And Indiana's not bad, but
Yeah, Indiana's not bad. That's a shocker. I didn't see Indiana moving up.
well, and nobody sees T.J. Warren scoring 53 points, and it happens.
Well, he scored 53 points,
And then
then today he scored 34.
Yeah, 34, man.
I thought that was crazy. Anyways,
What stood out to you about the Pelicans?
So first, let's go to the West.
Oh my bad. I'm getting ahead of myself.
You are getting
ahead of
yourself. Let's talk about some movement in the West. We didn't see anything like the East. We didn't see anything at 1 and 2, which is still occupied by both LA teams. The Lakers and Clippers are 1 and 2, and then 3 have Denver, and then 4 is a bit of a surprise. We have Houston there.
Going up.
And then Utah's at 5, and then 6 OKC, and then 7 and 8 we have Dallas, and then Memphis.
Memphis is still there, even though they lost today.
They did. They haven't really been playing particularly well, Memphis, but they're still there. The eighth spot. They're 2 games ahead of Portland, who I think is gonna
Probably catch them.
probably either catch them or beat them in a play-in.
I think so.
I think San Antonio may have a chance there too, but I don't know.
I really do think Portland's probably got the best chance. Which, by the way, the LA Lakers clinched today the first seed, so they will be the first seed no matter what.
That's true. That is true.
So now that that's happened, I know for sure the NBA is going to be pushing for the Pelicans to win a lot more games.
So now we can talk about the Pelicans.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't see them play too well. I really truly against Utah, they were in a close game. They lost by 2, but that should not have been a close game. Utah was not playing well at all. Utah didn't win. New Orleans lost it.
And you sound like that interviewer that interviewed Westbrook that made him go off and make him a meme.
Oh,
I'm out of that.
Yeah, I remember that.
But
Really,
right.
I mean, it applies here really and truly because Utah didn't play well at all, and New Orleans, I mean, they didn't play well either.
Although Ingram did take a very good last shot. I mean, he missed it, but it was
Oh
a
yes,
good
yeah,
shot.
that was a nice shot. Just barely, I think it lipped out.
Yeah. Right off the back of the iron.
Mm-hmm. And then they go on and they play the Clippers, and they just get smacked. They were down, I think, like 35.
40 at one point.
But I think they were down 35 at half.
Yeah.
That is just crazy. That's a crazy stat right there. And then today they played Memphis. They played Memphis pretty well.
Zion just played good. Really
Zion, yeah, even though he's still on a minutes restriction because he's not really in shape. But still, to win against Memphis by 10, that I think that is helping Portland and the Spurs more than anything. I don't really think that's going to help New Orleans.
I'm curious to see how that.
Because I don't think they can catch the 8 seed.
I think they can make it interesting. I don't think they can catch.
I don't think so either.
I don't even think they can make a plan.
I don't think they can make the plan either. That's why I'm saying the only thing that win helps is
San Antonio and
Portland.
Yeah. Next we're on to the Houston Rockets, the home state team. Now,
State team. That's right.
their first game, I didn't expect them to win. I mean, you're playing against a team that could probably go a 7-2 power forward and a 7-4 center against a team that's going against a 6-8 center. You don't usually win. But they did.
How they beat Porzingis and Boban Marjanovic with their small ball lineup is just beyond me.
Well, I mean, they run the floor well.
They do run the floor well, but at a certain point, I mean, you have Kristaps Porzingis who can shoot pretty much from anywhere. He's 7'3" and he can shoot from anywhere. I mean, it's hard to guard. So,
but James Harden, when he drops 50 points a game, 49, and he's on.
He dropped 49, and then Russell Westbrook, I think, dropped 32 or something like that.
31 tonight, yes, and he had 8 assists too.
No, but on that night.
Oh.
On that night, I think James Harden dropped 49, and I think
they
Russell
combined
Westbrook
for 81.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There it is.
But I mean, when Robert Covington's grabbing 8 rebounds, I mean, it just shows the heart that they have with playing that small ball lineup.
Oh yeah, I think that's pretty great. And then to come back and beat Milwaukee.
I mean, look, James Harden showed some good defense at some points. I think he was trying to make a statement that we could beat Milwaukee because we actually can play defense when we want to. So only time will tell. On to the Denver Nuggets. Today they played against. Or my bad. Their first seeding game was against the Heat, which they ended up losing.
Yeah, pretty bad.
But
it was a blow. I remember watching that.
But the problem really was they didn't play good. I mean, Mike Malone tends to say it's not about me, it's about the team. You know, the ENAM type of thing. And they didn't play like that game. I guess they came back and they regrouped. And, I mean, they obviously played better today. Michael Porter Jr., who really hasn't, I mean, he's played, but to the sense of, well, we're kind of not seeing enough of him. And we finally saw a lot of him today. 37 points, man. That's amazing. 12 rebounds. He's really showing that back surgery really helped. I'm curious to see how he does the rest of the seeding games. Hopefully they can move up maybe to the... Or, no, they can't move up to the 2 spot. I don't think they can do that. But
no, he can't play 2.
Yeah, I think hopefully he can become a more pivotal part of their offense, especially with him and Bobo. It could really work.
You know what lineup I'd really like to see? I'd really like to see Jamal Murray, a fill-in at the 2. Whether it be Torrey Craig or Monte Morris or...
I think Torrey Craig would probably help him a little bit more defensively.
Yeah, but either one of Torrey Craig, Monte Morris, or Will Barton. I think Will Barton's still with him.
Will Barton's a very good veteran if he is.
Either one of those 3 at the 2, and then you put Michael Porter Jr. at small forward, and then 4 and 5 you put Bobo and Nikola Jokic. I would love to see that lineup.
Imagine they played zone. We're back up. Make sure it's still recording. Eric, we'll end the show. Yeah, it's still recording. We got 8 minutes.
That's fine.
We're 8 minutes in. Alright, let's keep going. On to the Lakers. You got the Lakers.
So anyways, on to the Lakers. They just haven't been playing very well. It's just, that's all there is to it.
But it just shows that even with not playing well, they still get W's.
They get double. Okay, so they played LA Clippers. That was their first seeding game. They won
both
by
teams didn't play good
they
either.
won by 2. But the Clippers did not play well at all.
Yesterday against the Raptors, they just had a bad 4th quarter in my opinion.
That wasn't even a 4th quarter. Really, truly, it was
second half.
No. It wasn't even the 4th quarter. It was maybe like the last 3 minutes because they were right there.
Yeah, kind of.
They were right there up until up until crunch time, pretty much. And then you have today against Utah, or earlier this evening against Utah when they won and they clinched the conference, but they still didn't play well down the stretch. They were playing really good, and then crunch time comes and they just didn't play well at all. And they only won by 8.
When Anthony Davis scores 42 points, there's only so much you can do, especially when he hits that unguardable step back 3 and 1. That was amazing to me.
That was pretty good.
I'm
not gonna lie about that. What about Indiana?
Indiana, man.
What have you seen about Indiana?
Oh man, they're really surprising me. It's not really they are. It's more T.J. Warren is. He's really stepping up.
I think he's the biggest surprise. The biggest surprise in the NBA.
Right now, yes, I believe so.
It's just a shock how he went off for 53 and then 34.
That's to me. He's stepping up more of a role because Victor Oladipo is still kind of on a minute restriction because he was hurt. But the way you also look at it is like, well, they got some other good role player play, especially in Malcolm Brogdon. Today he had 6 assists, led the game.
Oh, Malcolm Brogdon
that's your boy, man.
Is very underrated. I mean, don't get me wrong. In the previous video, I said how he shouldn't have won Rookie of the Year over Joel Embiid. I stick by that, but I'm a big fan of Malcolm Brogdon. So I think he's great. I mean, he's a member of the 5049 Club. He can shoot. He can defend. He can pass. He can handle the ball well. I mean, he's just a great player. He's a good role player. A good role player. He's not a star. He's not gonna be a star, but he's a good role player.
How about them? 76ers?
Oh man, don't even get me started on 76ers. They've just
your boy Ben Simmons, man. Where's he at, man? Where's the shot? I need to see him shoot more.
Well, okay, so against Indiana, they played. He didn't play bad. He played pretty good against Indiana.
Out though, didn't he?
No,
he
found out today.
Yeah.
Shake Milton, though, my boy, coming in clutch, hits that game winner right against San Antonio. But overall, they haven't looked.
Joel Embiid looks.
They haven't looked good.
Joel Embiid looks good to me. I mean, he drops 41 the first game with 21 rebounds, and today he plays his role.
But then again, the first game against Indiana, he dropped 41. Ben Simmons had 30.
Still lost.
Tobias Harris also at 30.
And that's not a good thing because that means your role players, your bench players ain't playing too good.
Exactly.
So it's only a matter of time. You know, when it comes down to the playoffs, it's all about the bench players. It's more about the bench players than the stars.
Well, I think in the playoffs, it's really going to show whether Philly is good, whether they're contenders or whether they're just they're just a good regular season team.
Yeah. How about them Celtics?
Oh man, I think the Celtics have looked pretty good. I mean, like they have all season. In their first season game back, they had Milwaukee, and it was a really close game up until just overall it was a really close game. They ended up losing by 7 to Milwaukee, but there was a little bit of controversy at the end there with Giannis. He
fouled him twice. He fouled him twice.
Well,
this is being blatantly honest. First one, that was flagrant. You can't be doing that against the screen. Second one, he took a charge, man. You gotta reward the guy. He's a 7-foot dude. He's huge. Marcus Smart, who's 6'3",
just gets in there,
takes a charge, lets him hit him, takes the charge.
Movie, nothing like that.
And what do the refs do? They bailed Giannis out, man.
Yeah, twice.
It's unbelievable.
Twice.
Like it just.
And then Marcus Smart got fined when he talked about it.
It just baffles my mind how Marcus Smart can make such a good play with the taking of the charge, and they're not gonna call it. They're just not gonna call it. I mean, I don't understand that.
I mean, but not only once, but twice.
Twice.
Like off that screen, that's a flagrant.
But I mean,
okay, I can understand you not giving him the foul because you don't want him to
end on that.
You don't want him to get his 6th foul and have to go to the bench on that call.
Mm-hmm.
But then
the
charge call,
that's better. Like you're making a good play.
See, then what made it worse was that they called it a charge. They called it a charge.
They reversed it.
And then they reversed it.
Yeah. But again,
that just makes it. That just adds insult to injury, really.
For me, there's no excuse also for the fact that Jason Tatum only had 5 points. He's supposed to be kind of their main scorer.
Oh, yes. No.
He didn't play too good of a game that
He
game.
had 5 points. He didn't play very good at all.
But then he came back and had like 41 this past game.
Yeah, but against Milwaukee, he didn't play very well at all. He only had 5 points.
Yeah,
but they still should have won.
Yeah. That's why I think...
That just shows you how deep they are.
Yeah.
That just shows you how deep they are and how prepared they're going to be for the playoffs, especially with Brad Stevens as their coach. And then against Portland, that was a close game, but Jason Tatum went off.
Yeah, he went off, man. He
went off. And Jalen Brown had a good game too. So yeah, overall, they're looking really good. They're looking like they're ready for the playoffs. Now, Toronto.
Oh yeah, my boy Nick Nurse. Ooh, I love that guy, man. No homo though.
Speaking of Nick Nurse, did you see the report about him losing out on the
three-way tie
on the Coaches Association Coach of the Year award?
How did they give it to Mike Budenholzer? There's no one in the East besides the Celtics.
They gave it to Coach Bud, and they gave it to Billy Donovan.
Well, Billy Donovan deserves to be part of there. But it should have been a three-way tie. They sold him.
Nick Nurse lost it by 1 vote. If he had one more vote, it would have been a 3-way tie.
I'm sorry, I played 2K, but they sold him. That was not right. But anyways, Raptors are playing great basketball right now. They beat who pretty much everyone thinks is the best team in basketball right now, which is the Lakers. They beat them by 15. It just shows the different schemes that Nick Nurse was throwing at the Lakers was kind of confusing them.
Could that be a finals preview?
It could, quite possibly.
That's who I have beaten in the finals.
I got the Celtics. I really think the Celtics can pull it together. But it just shows that they got 2 really good guards that can go off on either night. Because like tonight, it was Fred VanVleet. He had 36 points. Also, good little stat here. He's the 6th player ever to score 36 points with either having 0 or 1 2-point shot. So all his points were either from threes or free throws. He only had 1 mid-range or a layup.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Along with that, the first night, Kyle Lowry went off against the Lakers. He had 33 points.
Completely went off. He just took over in the 4th quarter.
But then that shows you that Fred VanVleet can just run the offense and have him take over. Or, like tonight, Kyle Lowry could take over and run the offense. Yeah. Fred VanVleet could just shoot the ball.
Really and truly. And Fred VanVleet is just a really, really good story. Undrafted.
Wichita State.
He's
Shout out
6 foot flat, if anything. I mean, I think he's shorter than 6 foot flat. But undrafted, really comes out of his own, or comes into his own, last year in the finals.
Helps when you have Nick Nurse.
He took over in what was it, Game 5 there, when it was a close game.
He had a good one.
He hit like 3 straight threes.
He contested, clutch threes. Contested. Too, man.
It's crazy.
But I really do like their team. Nick Nurse is doing a great job defensively with adjusting. I think he is the best coach in basketball right now.
Without a doubt, I completely agree with you.
That's not me being biased because he used to coach down here in the Valley, in the Rio Grande Valley Vipers, the G League we have here.
Mm-hmm.
But I really do think that, I mean, he's throwing different things out there that they might not have seen since they were in AAU in 6th grade. Like when he presses, I mean, it looks amazing.
His
like,
defensive schemes is just, it's crazy.
Yeah, like I think he kind of overwhelmed the Lakers, and even LeBron said it, like, we got to get ready to that because that's what we're going to see in the playoffs. We're going to see different types of defensives, and hopefully it's a good little preview of what they have. Hopefully it's not. I really want the Celtics to go to the finals, but we'll see.
Well, I think it's going to be the Raptors are going to be tough to beat, but if really truly even though you have Milwaukee and Philly, who are great, right? But really, truly, it's between Boston and Toronto.
I agree.
It's really between them.
Because when it comes down to coaching, you need the 2 best coaches.
Well, not only that, but their defense, their offense. I mean, obviously, but they're just so deep.
They are.
They're just so deep. Both of them, even with Kawhi leaving the Raptors to go to the Clippers.
They're still deep.
Exactly.
I mean, Pascal.
Exactly. The media, no one hears from them because the media.
It's all over.
All of Jones, but in the media's mind, when Kawhi Leonard left Toronto,
they counted out.
Yeah, they counted Toronto out, and they just said, okay, you know what, Kawhi's gone, you guys don't have a chance, and Nick Nurse. And Kyle Lowry and Serge Ibaka and Marc Gasol, Pascal Siakam, Fred VanVleet, all those guys, they said, nope, we're going to be back.
Yeah.
And I really think they're going to be back in the finals.
Well, that's all the time we have for today, Phenomenal Phanatics. Hopefully we made y'all's day better, and we hope we entertained you.
Don't forget to like
and comment.
And subscribe.
We'll be coming at you twice a week, more than likely. We're still going to get on that. We'll let y'all know on our Instagram.
Between once and twice a week.
Yeah, we'll be able to post that on our Instagram when we'll be posting. It'll be in the description below.
It'll most likely be Mondays and Wednesdays.
Yeah, somewhere around there. We still got to get our schedule right. But once we do, we will let you know on our Instagram. Email us or DM us, whatever you want to see on our channel, whatever you want us to talk about, we will do it. If you want some maybe special guests you'd like to come on the show, if you're qualified, we'd love to see that too. But overall, we want to just entertain y'all.
Make sure you guys comment on the bottom. We want to know what you think about what we're talking about. Whether it be the predictions for the PGA Championship or what you guys think about the standings and how the games are going so far in the NBA. We want to know what you guys think. So go ahead and drop a comment down low. And we'll see y'all next week.
Later, Phenomenal Phanatics.
Be phenomenal or be forgotten. 1, 2, 3.